In the previous video, I talked about general positioning for the guitar, and in this video I'll go into more details for positioning for the right hand. So after you find that comfortable position to sit in, you're going to bring over your right arm. And you have to make sure that the entire weight of your arm is sitting on the guitar. The weight of your arm will hold the guitar in place, and the guitar will actually support your arm, so they work together. What you don't want to do in any case is hold it up in any way, because that will just create tension, which you don't want. Then you need to determine where exactly to place your arm, and that's going to be different for each of us because we will have different proportions. In general, your hand's not going to be here, and it's not going to be here. It's going to fall on this roundest part of the instrument. Then you need to determine how far back and how far forward it needs to be. So for that, you're going to put your hand in the basic arpeggio position. So your I finger is going to get the third string, M finger is going to get the second string, and the A finger is going to get the first string. And the test is with the A finger. Your A finger needs to be able to play rest stroke and free stroke. So rest stroke and free stroke on the E string without making any major alterations to your hand. So for example, if I'm too far back and I put my hand in that arpeggio position, I can do rest stroke with my A finger, but because it's reaching for the string and it's so extended, it's going to be very hard to do free stroke. If I'm too far forward, then I can do free stroke, but because my hand is so curved and so far below the strings, it's going to be very hard to do rest stroke without pushing my hand up. So you have to find that middle, where rest stroke and free stroke are easily accessible without any alterations. And that will be different for each of us, depending on how long our forearm is and our arm in general. For me, it actually falls kind of closer to my elbow. For somebody else, it might be in the middle of the forearm. So it all depends on your proportion. But you still need to be able to do both strokes without alterations. In either way, you don't want your elbow sticking out. So no matter how long your arms are or how short they are, you don't want your elbow sticking beyond the instrument. Your elbow is always going to be sitting on the side of the guitar, almost behind the face. After you determine where exactly to put your hand in that direction, you also need to find where you put your thumb. And that, it's going to be different for each of us because our thumbs are going to be growing and they're from different parts of our wrist, and they're going to be a different length. But in general, what you want is for your thumb to be ahead of the eye. So when you play adjacent strings together, they're going to cross each other like this. What you don't want is for your thumb to be so far back where when you play them together, they bump into each other, or in worst case, they cross each other behind the eye. So here, they need to cross right in front. But also watch out that your hand is not perpendicular, because a lot of times when you first start to kind of figure out your position, you overshoot and end up with kind of very extended bent wrist here. So your wrist still needs to remain straight, but your thumb needs to be ahead. And a mirror always helps. So because you cannot see your wrist from the front, from looking from this angle, practicing and kind of positioning yourself in front of the mirror will really help you finding that position. So once you can play free stroke and rest stroke, and your thumbs can easily play with the I finger and cross each other, you have the basics for the right hand down. Of course, the more experience you gain and the more you play, there are going to be minor alterations that you might need to make to your hand to make it comfortable for you and for your anatomy. But these are the basics that will help you position for the guitar with your right hand.